Check out my badass cape, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mamalogues.
My hood. Hi, everyone.
I'm superhero Dani.
And I am Little Red Mary Beth.
Why are we wearing these things? Well, maybe we'll seem less bitchy when we talk about your parenting our children or us parenting your children.
Yes. We're giving these away. Yes. But we thought we'd try them on first. So we're very clean.
Seemed like a good idea at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Today we are talking about helicopter parenting.
Is this bothering you that my eyes are being pulled together so tightly because I'm not a child and I'm wearing a child's mask?
And she put it on and she was like, this is incredibly painful.
This is not the same as wearing a sleeping mask.
So we're going to be giving these away.
These are from, it's called Little Adventures. I actually won these on another blogger's giveaway.
Oh.
And so I thought, we wanted to reward you guys for being loyal fans and stuff. So we wanted to give you these really cool little masks and capes. And they also have little aprons too that we're going to give away.
So sweet.
So I think we'll do 4 winners because we have 4 different pieces that they sent to me.
Okay.
That I won. So we're going to give them to you guys and share.
A line on your nose.
Because, to be quite honest, I already have enough in my playroom, so I'm more than happy to send it to you.
Okay, well, that's nice.
Yeah, and after that, you can invite me over to your playroom, and I can quietly judge you while you don't tell your child to stop pulling my child's hair.
Okay, so this is Dani's awkward segue yet again.
It's also me being passive-aggressive.
Yeah. We are talking about...
This is getting uncomfortable, too.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's not right. We're talking about helicopter parenting versus hands-off parenting. This off for a second. Oh.
Here, I'll help you. Let me disrobe you. So hot. This is the when Mamalogues gets really sexy.
Yeah.
When I take my
Can
best
you take
robe
off my Little Red Riding Hood?
I've heard from being in this mom bloggers group that the helicopter parenting versus the hands-off parenting dilemma happens all throughout our country and around the world, of course. But
let's be honest.
But in LA, it's a different ball game, I think, because we've got.
I actually don't think there's helicopter parents so much on the east. I just mean it's just more.
I feel like there's some hair on my eye.
Here it is. I think it's just more in LA. It's much more.
Can you pet me through this whole episode?
Yes.
Okay.
It's much more about working out. The children work out the issues on their own, which is fine, and there's validity to it.
Yeah.
But it's just. I'm just going to start talking. Okay.
Go for it.
And then
dive in.
I'm just going to dive in.
Tell us.
The reason I started, Dani and I were talking about this. She had brought something up, and I'll let her.
Wait, I'm going to pet you now because now you have hair in your eyes.
My bangs are always in my eyes.
So what's the most annoying thing that has happened to you?
There are 2 things.
Okay, so let's hear it.
There are many things, but let me tell you the 2 most recent. How about that? One was that our neighbors who have absolutely no control over their children,
and who hopefully don't watch this show.
I hope they do.
Hi, neighbors.
Hello. They go through that. Well, they're having a temper tantrum. There's nothing we can do about it, even though the screams are waking up.
Now, let's be clear.
Child.
Your neighbors live above you.
We live in a townhouse.
Right.
This is a very long time. We live in a townhouse, and but then we actually have neighbors above us, which is
really unusual.
Is unusual, yeah, because they're townhouses. But whatever, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And they have 3 children, and their child is a disaster as far as I've never. He's always crying. He's always crying. Always. And I know part of it is because they literally just leave him there and don't pay attention to him, so I feel bad for the kid. But it's waking up my kid, and my kid can't get sleep sometimes. So city living, city problems.
So have you had to parent these children yourself? For the other mom, I guess.
I have said things, and we have been really nice to them. It took us a long time before we were like, you know what? You live above people. You can't have your kids jumping off couches. You can't have your kid. First of all, I don't let my kid do that anyway, in our own, but
you have to wonder, what are they doing? Why are they allowed to do that? First of all, where are the parent when it's happening?
Because they're not watching them. I know, because I've seen them. But anyway, we were at the park, and this other mom who I'm somewhat friendly with, her 4-year-old had a toy, and the 3 kids, the neighbor kids, happened to be at the park too.
Oh boy.
And they took the toy away from him and started playing with it, and at one point, one of them shoved him. And the grandmother was there watching them. Mm. Didn't say a word, nothing. And the mom of the child who was pushed, the 4-year-old is I I shouldn't be parenting these kids. Like, that was her thing.
I would have said something if I was that mom.
She finally did kind of like, nicely, but I mean,
Dude, we were just in Ocean City on the boardwalk at one of the, you just triggered a memory that I didn't even think about until now. But we were going on the ride where it's a toddler ride, obviously, but it's like boats on water. But they're little legs that you have to help them onto their boat.
Right.
They can't just climb into their boat before the ride starts. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
It's like Wonderland here.
Yeah.
It's been there since we were kids, probably before. Anyway, I went and put Colton in his boat, and then there's this other little boy just standing outside of his boat near Colton. And I was like, looking around, like, where are the parents? Why isn't there someone here helping this poor child? Well, I helped him into his boat, and I felt so weird because I have no idea who this child is.
Yeah.
But I said, do you need help, Bubba? And he went, because I call every little boy Bubba, I don't know why, but including my own. And I helped him in. And then the same thing happened when the ride was over. Jimmy went in, my husband, to get my son and bring him off of the ride. And sure enough, no one came to get this little boy. And so my husband leaned over to get him. And then here comes the grandmother, I assume, because she appeared to be of grandparent age.
Right.
But I thought to myself, where were you this whole time?
Right.
And my mom told me afterwards she was on her phone the whole time.
That's crazy to me. And that's like the huge thing. Phones. And then, a lot of the time.
Well, why that grandmother in your situation was just sitting
there. She was on her phone too. But no, they don't care. It stems down. It was the grandmother, and the parents are like that too.
Yeah.
And I think that they have a nanny sometimes too. And
You know what that tells me is that there's not a consistent through line in how everyone is parenting these children.
There actually is a consistent through line. It's ignore them.
Which
is, and that's different than hands off. Hands off is like people are thinking about this and they're like, let's let them work it out. This is just like I don't have time for you to even look up.
Right.
And then
it's really I kind of feel sad for them a little bit.
Oh no, I feel bad for the kids.
No.
I get upset with the parents, not the kids. But then we were at
I get upset with kids too, but that's
we'll
get there.
Don't get me wrong when they're waking him up and jumping. But then we were at this museum that we're like walking distance. We're members to this like children's museum, and it's pretty cute and stuff. But it's that whole mentality again that I can't exactly vibe without. It's not just LA. I mean, I'm just saying I live in LA, so this is what I can't always vibe with when people have this hands-off method. A 4-year-old who's a member of this preschool, and there's about like 10 to 12 people in this preschool that's connected to this museum, was running around, and they should have had more individual attention with these kids if they're going to open up the museum to everyone, and just goes bam, running, sees Henry, who's 1.5, little guy. These are really hard floors, and goes like this. I mean hard, like wham!
Shoves him?
Pushes him. Henry completely falls over. Like,
not my Henry!
And, Henry is like really sweet, and like, and he was like so like, didn't even know what just happened. Aww. So I go, and I could see it happening because I was right next to Henry.
Little 4-year-old, and I'm gonna.
I mean, honestly, so I go, hey, like that, like to stop it,
Yeah.
Everyone looks up at me.
Like you're the nuts
I'm the nuts one. And I was not having any of that. I was like, you are not shaming me. And I said, who is in charge of these children? I was like, this is the 3rd time this almost happened with these kids. Like that he almost got shoved, and it finally happened within 10 minutes of us being there.
That's so mean.
I know. And then I hear the preschool guy being like, oh, okay, sorry. And he goes up to the kid and he goes, do you want to apologize? And he was like, no. And he was like, you're not in trouble.
What? Yes, you are. You're in trouble. You just shoved a child you don't know.
And then the
You're
kid just runs away, doesn't have to apologize. And I was like, I am so over this.
That's the problem with this world today, because we are not reprimanding children when they're bad. We're not. But then when they don't do anything in sports, for example, let's say they haven't won, everyone still gets an award. So we're rewarding bad behavior, and we're also rewarding people who have...
I really like your tangent right now. I don't even know where it's going, but I love it. But I get what you're saying.
Like, it's just this world is so crazy in the way we do things now. Like, everyone's so afraid of hurting other people's feelings. And at the end of the day, you not teaching this 4-year-old that it's not okay to shove someone is going to be the same kid who, God forbid, someday comes into school with a knife or with a gun or worse, because no one's telling him this is wrong. No one's setting boundaries. That's what it is. No one's setting boundaries.
Right, and everyone's so scared, and everyone's so, and it's just like one of those things where, so from now on, you know what, if I see a kid who's about to shove my kid, I go right up, and I am a helicopter parent, I guess, and I just say, you know, it's one thing if, like, some kid grabs a toy away from him, they're learning then, and I get that, that's totally different, but, like, if you're gonna injure my kid, I'm saying something.
Absolutely.
And, like, it just is what it is.
Well, our job is to protect them, you know, and, I mean, I've been at the park where other children are climbing up the slide and my child's waiting to come down, and I have no problem turning to those children if within like 30 seconds the parent who I can obviously see standing right here is saying nothing. I'll say, hey guys, he's trying to make his way down, or can you please move, you're not supposed to be climbing up the slide. Like, I mean, and I know that these are normal things for kids to do, you know, doing things backwards to experiment or whatever, but you know, not at the expense of some other child's safety, not on my watch, you know. And at the park, I do helicopter parent. I stay right on, well, Michaela I trust a little bit more, but I stay right on Colton, and I try to make her stay with us, with him. Or I don't go to the park unless there's another parent with me, or my uncle coming with me, or something, because there's so many people at these parks out here because not everyone has backyards. So that's something that people don't really get when they don't live in a city. You know, like, you have your backyard, so it's a little less congested, and you can kind of be hands-off in that situation. I cannot be hands-off when there's 40 people at a park. And I also refuse to not say something when there's children getting in the way of my child's safety.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I have, like, anxiety about going to parks like that. We, like, thank God, probably for my anxiety's sake, we have 2 teeny little parks that are kind of like backyards.
Oh, good.
And there's, like, they're both within walking distance.
Right.
And then we have 2 bigger ones, but I always go to the tiny, especially being pregnant. I just go to I'm like, I can't chase after this. I mean, I can only go so fast. Uh-oh.
That's our 15 minutes.
Well, I'm not done talking. So
no, me neither.
Yeah, I think, like, the bottom line is just, it's strange because boundaries. Boundaries. It's like, what are the boundaries anymore? And when can you say something? When can't you? When it is appropriate? When is it appropriate? When isn't it? Well, I just think society has changed so much that it's kind of scattered and everyone has their different opinions and ideas. But, you know, at the end of the day, the biggest thing is just, if my kid's safety is being compromised, then I'm saying something.
Yeah, I was at a birthday party, another example, where they had a trampoline for kids to go and play in. And there was a couple of little 2 or 3 year olds in there. And then one, like, 7 or 8 year old boy who was very obviously jumping around and knocking over the other kids. And actually, one of the grandparents of the birthday boy came and said, I see what you're doing, and knock it off. And he scared the crap out of that little boy. And I was very thankful for it, because my son was one of the little kids in there that he was knocking around. But I didn't know the big kid, and it's at a friend birthday party. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't want to be the one to go yell. But so I was grateful that the guy who really was sort of the outsider, even though he was the grandparent of the birthday boy.
Right.
He wasn't associated with us in the school sense, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he was able to go and be authoritative, and this child listened to him. But then he did it a second or third time, and this guy kept going back and telling him to knock it off. And I was like, bravo,
grandfather.
Seriously, thank you for that, because that was really uncomfortable to see this other child being sort of, whether or not he meant to do it, because I'm sure he just thought he was having fun, but like, you have to, big kids forget that little kids are
tinier and
fragile.
Yeah. Fragile. Like glass.
Fragile? Fragile.
It's from France.
So I guess what we're trying to say is, if you run into us in the park,
watch out.
That's right.
Watch out. I can get scary. I can. So
I don't believe it as she smiles at me.
I can get real scary.
Ooh. Now I'm nervous.
Yeah. Okay.
So, well, we'd love to hear from you guys and tell us if you're a helicopter parent or if you prefer to be more hands-off. I don't know. I feel like whatever works, as long as your child is being respectful and you're being respectful of other people. I think that's the best thing to do.
Yes.
Set boundaries for your children, for God's sake.
For Lord's sake.
Someone start saying no to their child. Right?
No. Yes.
I'm tired of parents who don't say no.
Yeah, that's a whole thing.
I'm like getting to the place where, like, I want to start cursing at you, so it's time for us to end this episode.
I think this just, like, was a rant, basically. Hopefully,
this is a rant episode.
This rant episode, yeah.
Right.
Rant, yeah.
Hands off or helicopter?
Yeah. Okay, more chocolate.
All right, guys, time for more chocolate. Thanks for joining us. Bye. Don't forget to subscribe.